The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
We were on the break!
With Ambar Garcia, Brian Broaddus, Vach Lombardi, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Wednesday, September 24th, 2025, Season 21, Episode number 44. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break. We are live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star, presented by LG. LG is the world's #1 OLED TV brand for 11 years and counting. See why? At LG.com/OLED Evo.
How TV, yeah.
Y'all look crazy, man, for real. Y'all look crazy.
You brought us
Loco.
Y'all brought us here.
Mucho
So
loco.
who's really crazy? That's the question.
Oh, it's time we loco.
You put this together, sir.
You're right about that, and sometimes I'll question that. But
Take the credit
it is
when
what
it's
it is.
good. Take the credit when it gets weird, sir. That's all.
All right, we got a lot to get into today. It is our Wednesday show, so today we start turning the page.
Go, Pack, go.
Oh, get out of here.
That's what they sang.
I don't. Yeah, but not here.
That's
We don't say that here, though.
He
We're
worked.
talking about the Packers.
I know his history.
I never worked it.
I know
don't know
his
that song.
history.
It's actually kind of shocking you don't have on the ring today. I thought all this week you'd be rolling with the ring.
I am
Right,
not. I am not
You're not pulling it out this week?
What
the Super Bowl
happened?
ring.
People walking by to look at us. You ain't even got the Super Bowl ring on right now, bro.
No.
What
is
happened?
crazy.
You never take that thing off.
I am going to talk about the Packers today.
Okay.
We got a lot to talk about on the Packers, but today
Yeah.
is the less interesting part because tomorrow we'll talk about the Packers defense and Michael Parsons. But today we will focus on the offense and what we think of that offense and how the Cowboys possibly can match up with what we've seen so far. Before we get into that, though, I wanted to start with a little bit of a conversation around DaRon Bland. Yesterday, Jerry Jones said, I don't want to get over our skis here. It's a good possibility we'll have him. So the expectation is they will likely have him this weekend. The big question is, how much does he help? For a defense that has been struggling mightily against every offense they played, even the offenses that are considered bad throughout the league, how much does having DaRon Bland back help?
If he can play his zone and pass guys along and jam them at the line of scrimmage the right direction, jam them as
Stay square and jam them. Yeah, I got
if
you.
he's playing zone,
It's an
jam 'em as
ideal.
a-
It's an ideal that works. It's proven over time to work.
we know-
Stay square, jam, sink, and go with. Right.
We know Bland as a man covering nickel guy, but
Right.
when we're up in here, there's going to be some zone looks, and based on how the film has been looking, Brian brought us out. Maybe they'll keep ready where he's at, and maybe they'll make some changes as far as outside goes. I'm not going to make any bold statements there.
You just did. Are you saying that they should consider the possibility of keeping Reddy in there in the slot and taking Elam out, or taking Trayvon Diggs out and putting Bland in on the outside?
If Flus is going to change and do some things and fold to the pressure of social media and Cowboys break, then
It's folding to the pressure of what you see on tape.
fair. Then hold on to what you
Y'all
got.
are just launching today.
Then
Well,
hold
hold on. That came out aggressive. Hold on.
Coffee.
I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. Right. Football lady.
That was a little
Like a
aggressive.
meme.
You need to go out there and call some good plays. Is what you need. That was
Wow.
What was that? It was almost like she was at a bar with that.
How to say
drink. Let me
damn in
tell you.
Spanish.
Please. All you needed was like a cigarette hanging out of the corner of your mouth for that
Sorry.
one.
How do you say in fuego? Like, yeah. Wow. Okay.
I forgot my point. So if Falus is going to
apologize.
fold to the pressures of Ambar
See,
Garcia
I agreed. Yeah.
and run some man, then it might benefit you to hold on to what you have. Kyrie Elam is probably going to play a little bit better of man, and Bland will go play nickel at man, and Diggs will play nickel and Diggs play outside as man. But if you're going to hold to what you have and just keep playing zone, it might benefit you to move Elam around. I would say. I don't think they're going to move Diggs. Diggs is in there.
When you say move him around, you're meaning move him off the field.
Move him off the field. Keep Reddy, because Reddy seems to understand somewhat what he's doing. Somewhat. But the big blinking light has been Elam, I would say. Diggs has made his mistakes. I would say Diggs is giving his own problems. He's creating issues for himself. I don't think Elam fits this zone thing very well. If they're going to play man, leave him there. But just this zone thing, I think Bland will probably do that better than him. That's just my own personal opinion.
All right.
Can I interest you guys in playing any dime this week? And that's the 6 defensive backs. And I say this, Vachi, in a way of I'm a little worried about this Tucker Kraft, this tight end.
For sure.
And if you're gonna let me play a little man, maybe I play a little man with Elam and let a bigger guy go with that guy and see if in fact that Tucker Kraft, and we're going to get into it, is a problem. It's going to be a problem for you.
Yeah.
And like I said, we'll get into it. But the one thing that I looked at just metrics wise, there's some teams that have played some dime defense against this quarterback, and that's 6 defensive backs. It's giving him a little bit of some problems. So I wonder, again, here's our show asking for something, probably not going to get it. But if you're going to play with Bland, Diggs, and Stewart, maybe I could find a role for Elam having to cover a tight end that has some ability.
You know, it's funny. Right before you said that, as he was talking, I wrote down here Elam cover tight end.
Yeah.
Because we've seen in past years, not with this group, but we've seen in past years where
Jordan
they
Lewis,
will get
where are you, my
they'll
buddy?
get a cornerback and they'll say, okay, we got this tight end we're a little worried about. We're going to put this guy on him all day, and we're going to make him have to deal with somebody who can really cover. Now, the question would be that big body. Can he take him down once he makes the catch? But the fact of the matter is, you do like the matchup of him trying to get open against a quarterback.
How about make a contested catch? Now, the problem you're going to get into with this offense is they will play 12 personnel with the 2 tight ends on you, and then all of a sudden they act like they're blocking, and then they sneak out of the block, and then now you're kind of open, and the quarterback has been able to find these. It's delay, and then it's gone. And that's, how long are you going to be able to hold coverage on these guys if that's the case?
Yeah.
How much does he help, AG?
Right now, I'm like, do something different.
What's in that
Try.
cup, what you got in that cup?
It's just coffee from the coffee
You
machine.
mad today? Your face red.
Bailey.
You pointing fingers. What's going
Bailey's
on?
Irish cream.
We need to have a conversation.
Because,
Is everything
I mean-
all right? You good?
Yeah.
You guys are mentioning about players, and the more I think about it individually, I still think you have a lot of talented players on defense. Yes, you do. You do, because you've seen it, Brian. Man, I don't know.
I was like that guy, that meme that.
No, but when you start naming different guys, and I'm not saying at every
haven't
single
played like
position.
they're talented right now, AG.
Sure.
That's the problem.
But that's
I
also
get it.
She about to tell you scheme is that fault though. Please.
I get it. My point is,
Yeah.
I
they're
am looking
here.
at you, AG.
They're
I am looking at you.
Okay, let me look at the camera
I'm looking
then.
at you.
Okay, that's what we're supposed to do.
Right.
Thank you.
I follow directions.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
Nobody else does.
Let her
Thank
talk,
you, Brian.
dog. What's going on?
He just likes interrupting all the time. Okay,
Get to her point.
Brian, you are a scout. You
Still are, just not for the team.
Yeah.
You still scouting.
The thing is, again, these players are here for a reason, and I'm saying yes. The level goes down at certain positions where you're not as great as you could potentially be, but at the same time, you still have all around players that I still believe are capable of performing at a decent level to keep you in a game and compete, at least give you a chance. As long as your offense is taking care of business, they can still help you compete. But you're not utilizing them in the right scheme. Now, I am not a coach for a reason. I don't study. I don't get paid that much. I don't know all the levels of it, because to me, oftentimes it seems very simple and like, oh yeah, sure, just change scheme and do this and do that. Obviously, it's a lot more complicated than doing just that. But at this point, I think you just have to have a conversation with each player, get to know them very well, and get to understanding really well what it is that they're best at. In order to try to position them the best way possible, because right now there's no reason why you should have all these players on the field, especially on the secondary, and have them looking around like what is going on and being confused and there being lack of communication. That should never be the issue.
I think that's all fair, and I agree with it. But I will throw out this theory that I got from Nick Eatman that I thought is very interesting. And it's actually a theory he threw out several years ago when talking about, I want to say this goes back to Tony Romo. And he used the term, he called him a diaper. And what he meant by that was...
Even he's diaper.
You remember that? But
He's always talking
the
about
point of it was the reason why he's a diaper is because he covers all the blank, right? It's like all the things that are wrong, he makes it okay because the diaper just covers it and kind of holds it together. And I do wonder if some of these players that we thought of as being a certain level of skill and talent that was a little higher, maybe what we're seeing now is Micah was the diaper. And because you had a pressure player who was one of the best, if not the best pressure players in the entire NFL, if that affected opposing offenses so much so they couldn't exploit what was happening on the back end, that they couldn't exploit what was happening with the linebackers. And I do think that there are some limitations to Micah's game, particularly in run defense. But I think from the standpoint of being a pressure player, I don't know this, but I wonder if some of the things that we're seeing right now are a result of the fact that they don't have that level of pressure, and it allows offenses to exploit the defensive challenges that they have on the back end.
That's fair. I don't mind you thinking of Micah as a diaper, but is Flus like just regular draws? Like he just can't hold the blank at all? Like if blank is there, Flus ain't doing.
They leak.
Flus not. You know what I'm saying? And it could be loose boxers where
there's a lot of leakage.
Where's no room at all, right? Like I think you have guys. To your point, the players may not be as good, but to Ambar's point, we've seen these players be good somehow, somewhere.
Yeah.
Diggs in one season had 11 picks. DaRon Bland got the pick 6 record. Like, let's put those guys in situations to do that.
Well, but I want to be clear about that. Exactly is the point.
Sure.
The reason why I think they got all those picks is because, again, quarterbacks are like, I better get rid of this ball quickly because I know who's coming, and he's coming quickly. And if I don't get rid of the ball quickly, then I'm going to probably take a sack here or something worse, in which case now I throw into a bad situation. Cornerbacks know that ball has to come out quick, so I can bite this route and I can get the pick. I think all those things are part of this. And again, I am not saying in any way that I don't think that they're not being placed in the best position possible for them to be successful. I think there's all of that going on, but I do think the lack of pressure is affecting everything else.
But this is what I don't understand because, and I respect Micah Parsons' game a lot. I think he's a unique and a very elite player in the NFL, and you cannot take away what he brings to whatever team, whether it was his time here with the Cowboys or now over there in Green Bay. But at the same time, there's no reason why you not having him on the field means you absolutely don't have anything at all.
Zero pressure.
You should be able to create
Fowler should be able to beat Braxton Jones. Micah can beat Andrew Thomas and the Mylotas and all those guys, but Dante Fowler, you got to beat James Hudson. You got to beat Marcus Mbow.
And if they can get that kind of pressure, if he can win that matchup, that gives you the pressure that you were missing with Micah Parsons. That is the bigger question to me, is who's going to fill that gap. I don't at this point, I don't even care about the sacks. I care about who's going to pressure the quarterback to make him get rid of the ball quicker, so he's not just sitting back there and taking time to be able to decide where he wants to go with the ball, allow his receivers to get open even though they may be covered early. I think all those things are a part of this, and I think it starts up front with those guys that are supposed to be getting after the passer that maybe are not getting after the passer.
Did you have a conversation with somebody?
Yeah, words that haunt people that work in this organization. It's a long history of it. Flus can manufacture pressure. We haven't seen that yet at all. Haven't seen that yet at all. We could sit here and talk about this, that, and the other and put him in position to make plays and all this. But they honestly believed that when Micah walked out that door, when they traded him away to Green Bay, they would be able to manufacture pressure. I had a coach in the NFL tell me yesterday, if you're going to manufacture pressure, you better blitz. This guy doesn't blitz. And when he does blitz, it doesn't always work. But those are the words. Those are the words that they told us when Micah Parsons was moved on to Green Bay. Flus can manufacture pressure. We've yet to see that. in any shape or form.
And that's going to be about how is he going to maneuver these pieces, whether that be, do they need to get guys like Leofau on the field more and send them at the pass rusher? Do they need to come up with situations where they have, other guys that can blitz from other places, cornerback, from safety, from wherever on the field to be able to get pressure? But manufacturing pressure is what they're going to have to do, because I don't think right now they're going to do it with the front four. There's nothing that suggests they can do it consistently with the front four.
You can't play 98% zone and continue to rush 4 men. Can't do it. You cannot do it. They're if you look at the metrics, they're one of the highest zone teams in the league, and they're one of the highest teams in the league when they rush 4. And they're also they get the least amount of pressure of any teams in the National Football League. So, you better figure something out that way. And yeah, it's on the players, it's on Flus. But those are the words. When you moved on from Micah Parsons, yeah, it helped your running game because you got Kenny
Absolutely
Clark.
Did.
But you know what also? But it also hurts you to the point where teams don't have to run the ball on you. Mm-hmm. They don't have to run the ball on you because they're giving up 415 yards of deep balls, touchdowns, things like that. Why run? Why run when you're Russell Wilson and you could just stand there in the pocket and throw the ball down the field? Because you feel comfortable doing it.
And what's interesting about that, Brian, is I think, if you look back at the last couple of years, I think the similar thing was happening on the flip side. Teams were saying, well, we can negate the pass rush of Micah Parsons because they can't stop us from running.
Right.
And we'll just run it down their throats.
Worse?
Right.
I hate running the ball.
Yeah.
It's demoralizing. I would rather quick death than slow death.
It's demoralizing. It really is.
Give me quick death every time.
Score fast, at least I can go right back.
Right.
Score fast.
That's exactly right. Like, okay, I'm about to die. Here
I love the fact they fixed the pass, the run defense. Now they got to figure out something on the pass.
You got a big dose of that the other day. Your run offense was great.
Yeah.
And your run offense, if you were ahead, that would have won that football game.
Yep.
But you never could. You never could catch it up.
All right, we're going to take our first break. We'll come back. We'll dive into what's going on with this Green Bay Packers offense and some of the matchups. We'll be back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
I'm home. Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow. Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman here. As the official pitmaster of the Dallas Cowboys, you know I take cookware seriously, especially when it comes to America's team. So when the Cowboys are away, I'm putting my Yeti cast iron skillets to work to make my game day favorites for friends and family. I'm talking chicken fried steak, skillet queso, and peach cobbler. And just like the Cowboys are forever, so are these heirloom cast iron skillets. Check out the full line of skillets on Yeti.com or at a Yeti store near you.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a Pepper thing.
Don't put off getting your oil change, Dallas. Take 5 Oil Change, a proud partner of the Cowboys, is faster than you think. They're so fast, you don't even have to get out of your car. You can take advantage of Take 5's stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change at any of their locations across the Dallas area. And remember, at Take 5, you stay in your car because they're faster than you think. That means you won't even have time to show off your best touchdown celebration. Take 5, the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to the break.
Choose perfection. Choose LG OLED Evo. Check out the best TV in the game at LG.com.
Welcome back. Second segment of the break. We are live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star, and the segment's brought to you by blockchain.com.
When are we giving TVs away? We're still waiting for that.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Still?
Yeah.
Boy, it's going to be next
Mind
year.
your business.
Next year.
Mind your business. We're going to do this.
I just don't like false
Y'all ain't
promises.
never get them
Season 51,
Y'all ain't never get them
episode
coming.
108.
They're coming. They're coming. We're working on it.
Shouts out to blockchain and LG. OLED.
These things don't move quick.
No. Cowboys.
Damn right they don't.
They don't move quick. We gotta work this through.
I bet them TVs ain't moving.
Hurry up and wait.
No, they're not.
Give them to me. Just
Give them away for
Ain't
sacks
gonna
and interceptions.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, let's jump in. Green Bay offense versus Dallas defense. Brian, what you got?
Bocce, help me with this one a little bit, though, if you can. Quarterback can be pressured here.
Yeah.
Are you good enough to pressure him? I know we just talked about that in the first segment, though. And here's, once again, an offensive line that's been somewhat compromised. They're having to move some guys around.
Yes, sir.
Their guys aren't completely healthy. Their best offensive lineman is dealing with an oblique injury. There's questions whether he will play this week. My doubt is that he won't. But this is an offensive line that you can attack. And I feel like, though, their offensive line, when you look at it, the tackles are really where it's at for the number of pressures you can get, and potentially – but Vachi, you're going to tell me that you don't trust these edges to get home against these tackles, aren't you?
So just watching the film, Brian, the Packers do have a good tackle, a really good tackle in Zach Tom.
They do.
But he's hurt.
He's got the oblique.
Then you got Walker. Walker's solid. Walker will give up pressures and all this kind of stuff. But, Brian, where I'm at with it is I don't care who they got playing tackle. I don't think the Cowboys are going to be able to get pressure against them, so I'm not even looking to evaluate it all that much. I even looked down at the practice squad. They got a character named Brent Banks. I bet nobody at this table has ever heard of him. No. If Brent Banks played right tackle, Brian,
he'd have a perfect day blocking.
He'll make the damn Pro Bowl in one game, Brian. Yeah. So moving forward, until the Cowboys prove me different, it may be a clowny situation that comes in, or White Cotton maybe had conversation with these guys like, hey man, we got to win early. Maybe let's have a counter. Let's just work on this, getting off the ball, things like that. I don't see any hope winning on the outsides, Brian. As of now, I do have hope winning on the insides, though.
Yeah, you do.
Winning on the interior, Kenny Clark got a sack for you. He should have too. Just my own personal opinion. And Ose is a guy that can generate pressure, get in the field, whooping like that. What they've been doing in Zach Tom's injury, Brian, is they got a rookie Belton. We was watching film of him, kind of slow-footed.
Right.
I thought he was a guard, whatever. They got Jordan Morgan, who's a guard, that I thought was a tackle.
Who was playing,
It is what it is, but he's moved around, left tackle, left guard. Last week versus the Browns, they played both those guys at right tackle. What's going to happen more than likely, Brian, Aaron Banks, their first left guard.
Yeah.
He's got a growing situation. Growings just don't come and go away all that fast. So if I had to assume Jordan Morgan, who gives up pressure, will be playing left guard, and their backup rookie Belton will be playing right tackle, I ain't looking at Belton. I'm looking at the two guards here, which is Jordan Morgan and Sean Ryan, the right guard, Brian.
Yeah, I think the thing with Ryan, I kind of see a bigger, slow-footed guy, though, and maybe what you're talking about, and I do like what you're doing here, is the playing with the quickness, with the Solomon Thomas, playing with Osa inside quick, and then try and take advantage of some of these guys that aren't moving so well. I think the center, Elton Jenkins, I think that he could be a guy that you could kind of move around with him, get the edge on him. I don't think he's one of the strongest guys. He's kind of a long, linear, tall center. Sure. And I know the Browns are a different crew when it comes to their front. I
didn't even want to say their name, bro. Yeah, we don't have none of those guys.
The Browns are elite when it comes to rushing the passer, in my opinion. But you watch the Commanders and stuff, and the guys that we know about, the Dorrance Armstrongs. Interesting with the pressure, though, that comes, the sacks that they've been able to get on this quarterback. Of the 7 sacks they've given up, 4 of them have come on second down. So there's something kind of going on. Maybe you got to find a way, not just the third down pressure, but where does the pressure come from on second down?
Maybe, Brian, what the Packers like to do is they'll take shots on second down,
right?
Then go for maybe something shorter on third, and they'll just go for it on fourth. So just game flow. Maybe that's what happens. Yeah. But I have seen coverage sacks make Jordan Love hold the ball a little bit. So if we're going to go out there, and when I say we, I mean the Cowboys, I'm a fan. The Cowboys going to go out there and play that little zone that they've been running, then Jordan Love's probably going to light you up a little bit. But if you mix up those looks and try to mix them up a little bit, Jordan will hold the ball. Now, Jordan Love can run.
He can run.
He He can run like these past quarterbacks that we had, but you maybe not even have to worry about him running because of your DBs or whatever, right? Yeah. So maybe if anything changes, like if you do put Jordan Love in this hurt situation, right, to where, okay, I can't throw the football.
Right.
Maybe I have to run. Then maybe that's where you see him running around a little bit, Brian Broaddus. But I've also seen gap exchanges, stunts, slants up front. That can kind of mess these guys up a little bit. And it could be Jenkins not having much continuity with Sean Ryan and Jordan Morgan
because of all the moving around they've had to do.
100%, Mr. Wolf. So and honestly, it's not even about them. It's more so about us. Like if Jordan Morgan went out there and played right tackle, I'd have great things to say about Jordan Morgan.
Sure.
But the fact that he's playing left guard, I think that's just a better matchup for us, Brian.
Yeah, I think to me too, the pressure, this affects this quarterback, and because you will see him, he doesn't always set his feet. He will throw off his back foot. He will miss throws. He's missed some open throws down the field. But I've also watched him on all the completions. He has made some throws. They were so, well, that was a pretty good shot right there. But when his feet aren't set, he's not going to be as accurate. Ball's going to go a little high on him. He's missed some. He hasn't been as accurate on some crossing routes and stuff. Yeah. The key to this thing, again, with him is don't let him run. Keep him in the pocket. Keep him playing backwards. But kind of make sure that he's throwing off balance. That's where you have really the best opportunity to make plays on this guy.
Brian, did you get a feeling that the Packers start really fast early?
Yeah.
And maybe in the middle of the game they'll kind of fade a little bit?
If you talk to, and one of the reasons why I was with a coach last night was talking about some stuff about playing the Packers, is that they were telling me, and not only this coach, but last week I was asking about the Packers. They feel like that if you could get through their first 15, if you could weather the storm of their first 15, and this guy Matt LaFleur, I think is a good play caller, but there's teams around the league that said, listen, find a way to kind of contain. Don't let Green Bay jump up on you. You know, their first 15 are really, really, really good. And then if you can weather that, then you can kind of get into a flow with them and play. They're going to have, with their situation at wide receiver, I think that to me that when you look at Dobbs, Golden, Wicks, we really liked Matthew Golden coming out of Texas last year. He was one of these guys, but he really hasn't stepped up like we thought he was going to be. We've seen Ibuka from Tampa step up and make big. We've seen, the guy at Carolina step up and play well. Golden struggled a little bit, and I think this offense struggles a little bit at the wide receiver spot. Yeah. So how do you cover that? How do you deal with the tight ends are going to be key this week.
Yeah, Brian, I didn't talk to any coaches, but I talked to some YouTube friends of mine. I mean, that's about the same thing.
Is that your gang of 7? You got 7?
I got a gang of like 4. Shouts out to Will Still the Sky and all them guys.
Yeah.
All them characters. But missing Jaden Reed is like huge for them.
It hurts them.
And as far as the Cowboys go, you've just dealt with teams that got wide receivers.
Right.
And if you count Wan'Dale Robinson, they all got sort of a duo at wide receiver. Dobbs, Golden, and Wicks, they kind of play in the context of this offense. Right. However, whatever it is that you give them, whether it be deep ball, down under slant, then that guy would be the guy that'll go off. But they don't have just one guy that'll just whoop you this week like the past few weeks. So maybe that's where your corners get a small advantage, I would say.
Smaller advantage too. I agree with you on that. The thing that I do worry about is the tight ends here. Yep. I do worry about with Tucker Kraft. I think this is going to be, and even him, John Fitzpatrick, they're going to get in that 12 personnel. I was talking about it. They're going to act like that they're going to help and block. I wonder how much do they respect Dallas's pass rush at all? Maybe not.
Of course they don't.
Because we've seen teams start to double team the defensive tackles now and make sure that they take care and then single block the outside. Yeah. So the Packers like to play with the tight end in line on the line of scrimmage, kind of check, and then release. And then that gives Jordan Love. I said Jordan Lewis way back in the day. Jordan Love the opportunity to check it down, and then they've had pretty good run after the catches with their tight ends. So how you deal with get pressure on the quarterback, but also dealing with this tight end. That's why I mentioned maybe playing some dime stuff against these guys with the 6 defensive backs. Make Love have to kind of read, clog, and cover, make the back end kind of muddy for him, but then be able to run with this tight end. with a corner that is more apt to be able to cover.
Brian, you think maybe that's what Quinn tried to do a couple of years ago, tried to go light in the box there, but the Cowboys just didn't have the D-line to do it?
No, didn't have it, yeah. If you had somebody,
you would think maybe like Clark makes it a little easier.
If you had Clark, you could play a ton of dime because now you're protecting your smaller linebacker, safety guy for sure.
Yeah.
You guys,
hope you're listening, Flus. Go ahead.
When you talk about Josh Jacobs, is he a guy that I saw in 2 of the 3 games he's been held? He and the Packers, their whole rushing offense has been held under 100 yards. Now it was against Detroit and Cleveland, as you said. Cleveland's a whole different beast.
Cleveland's
that defense is just really tough to play against.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit, it's a good defense. I wouldn't say it's like impossible. But what do you say about their running game and particularly Josh Jacobs?
Jacobs is formidable. He's not Saquon Barkley, but he's a good, formidable back. I kind of look at him as like a volume runner. Like the more you give it to him and the more he gets going and he wears you down at the end. I think he's really dangerous in the red zone. Like that's where a lot of his touchdowns come from. But just as far as can you hold him in the, like if you're in the 20s and 30s like that, I think you can do a pretty decent job. But he's really a bulldozer down in the red zone. But
yeah, where Dallas has been really good this year is, as of last year, they were never making contact behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. Right now, I think teams are averaging like a half a yard against them before contact. So that's telling me right there that Dallas is doing a really good job of getting off those blocks and then getting there and making it. And the thing with Jacobs and these backs, you stop these guys at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage, you're going to have a lot of negative plays, or you're going to have plays for no gain. I don't know if the Packers could physically line up and beat you up the way that you're going to have to. Dallas is doing a really good job up front with the inside guys, with their run techniques, with their fits, and not allowing teams to have a lot of success. If you looked with the Bears, where the Bears had some success was that long 19-play drive. All of a sudden, it started running the ball. They wore Dallas down. I think I don't know if the Packers could be committed enough. Like I said, throwing the ball against the Cowboys is the best avenue for attack. Running the ball, if you're telling me that Dallas has only given up, and with Clark on the field, they're giving up 3 yards a carry. No, I'm not running the ball when I know I could get 9 yards a shot throwing against Diggs or somebody else in the back end. That's where this game is going to hinge.
All right, let's take our final break. We'll come back. I want to talk about a position on the defense that we haven't spent as much time, which is the linebacker position. Cowboys picked up 2 free agents, Jack Sanborn and Kenneth Murray, this offseason. How have they played? We'll talk about that when we come back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
Every day begins with a promise to work hard and to build a future. That's why we're here, providing the tools, expertise, and John Deere equipment you have relied on for generations to help you get the job done right. We're with you. That's our promise to you, because no matter the project or the challenge you're facing,
we're with you. We're united.
I'm home. Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow. Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Back to the break.
AT&T connecting changes everything.
Welcome back. Final segment of the break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. Let's talk about this Dallas defense, and I want to target in on the linebacker position. Cowboys this offseason, they decided, y'all silly. They decided that they were going to go out and get a little more aggressive than they typically are in free agency, particularly at the linebacker position. They bring in Jack Sanborn and Kenneth Murray. Let's start first with those two guys. Yeah. How have they performed? And I want you to give it a good 360 view, not just what they've done in pass defense, because I think I know what you're going to say there, but as run defenders as well. How good have they been or not here in these first 3 weeks?
We can start with Murray, and then we'll go to Sanborn, I say. So Murray, he either sees it really well or he doesn't see it at all. I think he relies more on feel. I think sometimes he'll get caught gambling, just reading whatever's in front of him or reading whatever's behind him. But he can get downhill very fast, and I think he could be violent once he gets there. It's just that the timing it up when it gets there and the gap fits that's really give him issues. He had a really good week 2 versus the Giants. And I think, I don't know what was the jump from week 1. His week 1 was terrible. Week 2, very, very good. Week 3 was, here or there. But just Kenneth Murray right now, he's not the worst of the guys you have, but I think you could benefit from better play there.
Yeah, definitely. I expected a lot more when we talked about his acquisition. Sure.
That's what she said. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's what she said.
When they brought him in
Spanish for sure, but
when they brought him in, that we discussed it here on the show, I really thought he was gonna be a more impactful player. But then I go back to when you look at everything as a whole, you see that it's not just one player struggling. So that's where I fall back in. I think he can do better. And some of those mistakes that he has been making, it makes me question, is it just the collectiveness of the voice that you're hearing and following and all these things? Because in my head, it just doesn't make sense that as a collective, everyone seems to be struggling currently. And then I know we're going to talk about Sanborn. This is bad on my part with him. I keep thinking he's a rookie. Like in my head, when I think of him as someone this is the first year here. And I say, well, he's not doing that bad. And then I remember, wait, he's a veteran. He has been, 4 years or 5?
A while.
Something like that, a while. So it's just my evaluation on him varies because for some reason, I don't know what it is with him, my brain defaults into thinking he's a rookie when he is definitely not. And sometimes I try to give him grace in that sense, but then I remember he should be performing so much better and contributing so much more to this defense. And they're not. And we keep thinking, and Jerry Jones talked about this on The Fan a few weeks ago of like, well, we got help on the way. Who's the help? Overshown. He's coming back, but then you're counting on that way down in the season, and you're counting on him. He did recover very well when he came back from that previous injury, but again, you cannot count and depend on how a player is going to come back from an injury and say they're going to come be the savior on the defense. It's just not the right way to go. So what do you do at the linebacker position with the guys that you currently have on the team?
I miss Eric Kendricks.
Yeah, man. He ain't doing nothing. He on TV.
Yeah, I miss that ability.
I loved him.
Yeah.
The downhill ability, the ability to finish. I mean, Kendricks was not going to guess, and you're right. I think that happens. We've talked about this. There was a play that Swift ran to the outside, and Vach and I broke this play down on our podcast. Is that Sanborn is running to the edge, and then he goes right, instead of staying wider to make the play, he takes an angle right into the blocker, and you're like going, wait a minute, the ball's going to the outside. So there's some times where these two linebackers have read things correctly, and then other times where they just look like it's like, whoa, it's happening really, really fast. And they're two veteran guys. It shouldn't be that problem.
With limited action, how do you think Damone Clark and Maris Leofau have performed?
Clark's just kind of been blending in with the rest of them. Clark is clearly more athletic, but Clark will get lost as well. Yeah. So maybe it's just, do you put him at a different spot? You know, he's mostly like that third guy, like that Sam guy that rotates in and out. Maybe if he's the wheel, he's a little bit closer. Maybe the angle of it kind of helps him because he's closer to the action. Not sure if that'll work for him. Maris, not playing as much, but you know, one of the bigger runs that was given up was kind of him not holding the edge.
Not holding the edge, got real wide.
Getting upfield, you know. So the linebackers that you have right now, they're not great. I think it's very odd. I've never been in this situation before where your D-line was so good that the run defense versus runs, there's people saying, well, the run defense is good because they're throwing. No, versus actual design runs, your defense is stopping it.
Yeah.
And Kenny Clark is a huge part of that. You know what I mean? So maybe you have a little bit of room to make changes at linebacker as opposed to just trying to blow the whole thing up. I asked Brian this earlier. I would love to see what the rookie does. James, I would love to just see him. He may get lost, but everybody else getting lost. At least he's athletic. At least he can fly around and run around a little bit. So,
and he's developing.
100%. I said on social media, I said it here, and you know, me and people been fussing about it online. I would take Donovan Wilson, because what you got to lose. I would take Donovan Wilson away from one high, and I put him right there at will linebacker, and he's smaller, but you have a D-line that can mitigate nonsense at linebacker. I would let him use his instincts and his violence and his natural run fit stuff. I would let him go down there and line up at will, see what happens.
Brian, where's that LSU linebacker that you had in Damone Clark?
We all thought he was going to be a big time
physically.
player.
At LSU, he had a really good training camp.
Yeah,
they are struggling. It's so strange how we went into training camp kind of feeling like the linebackers are going to be fine, the defensive tackles are going to be awful, and the secondary is going to be fine. It's this thing is totally flipped to where your defensive tackles clearly are the strength of the defense. Your safeties and your corners have really, really, really struggled, and your linebackers are probably the weakest link of your group.
Yeah,
it is that's the recipe for bad defense overall. It really is.
That's the frustrating part, because I remember when we would do this show with David Hellman on the show, and we would talk about Damone Clark and him coming into with the team, recovering, and the expectations around him as a linebacker, and it's something that got you very, very excited. And then we're sitting here years out, and you're still, again,
waiting.
It's hard to pin out one player when everybody else is playing bad, but at the same time, you would think that individually there's something that you can bring to the game based on your talent, your sole talent as a player. And with him, it's like I'm still waiting for that breakthrough to happen. Like I haven't lost hope with him. Yeah, but we're still waiting for that breakthrough moment.
You know what? It's funny. I'm going to say this. Maybe if you play Maris Leofau, he'll make the same mistakes. Because there's times when Maris Leofau, even the small plays he does play, there are times like Vach mentions he's out of position.
Over-aggressive.
And that over-aggressive. And so, you know, if you play him 40, 50 snaps, is he going to make 5 or 6 plays where you're going, whoa, we can't have that. This group overall, man, that needs to be a total rehaul, or they need Overshown to come back as quickly as possible.
That's big.
I would rather be fast with mental lapses than I see it perfectly and I just can't get there.
And they can't get there, yeah. They're struggling with that right now.
Real quick before we end the show, I actually did get a message on, I think it was on Twitter, from NC, and he asked the question, did the DBs look this bad in training camp? And I think, Brian, you just hit it. I think we all saw something very different in training camp. As a matter of fact, there were a lot of days in training camp where this defense looked really good. They were taking the ball away. They were stripping balls. They were making interceptions. They were getting – they looked really good during certain parts of training camp, even better than the offense. So there was nothing that we saw, nothing that I saw, speak for myself, nothing I saw during training camp that suggested this defense would be this bad. I mean, even if I thought they'd have some games where they might be outmatched because they were playing really good offenses, there was nothing whatsoever that you could see in training camp that made you think that they would have this type of struggle, which also is another reason why when I talk about training camp, I talk about training camp as this is still just training camp. There's a lot different. It's a lot different sometimes when you get in the regular season and it's real action going on out there. It can change things a little bit, but there was never any indication I don't think anyone really saw about this defense having these kinds of struggles back in Oxnard.
I think in camp they were trying stuff. And part of trying stuff was some press man, some blitzes, some things like that. And I think it looked good. I was praising Kyrie Elam. I was like, "Hey man, Elam straight." And then you get to the game and that 99% stat, Brian Bros, that'll do it to you.
Yep. Yeah. All right, we appreciate you guys. Jones will be back tomorrow. We'll go to the other side of the ball. We'll talk about this Green Bay defense. One of the questions I'll have for these guys is really around Micah Parsons. We talk about him on the outside and what he can do with these tackles. I wonder in the middle, too. You got some new bodies in there, and we know Micah moves around. That's something I think to keep an eye on. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Till then, for Voch Lombardi, Brian Broaddus, and Amber Garcia, I'm Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break, live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?